Here's something that I think of in response to that, and I held off because I was thinking about whether I'm irresponsible. The Harlem Children's Zone,
Yes.
20 years and change ago. New York Times, everybody. Jeffrey Canada, you're going to take some large number of blocks in New York and you're going to model it in other cities. And you're going to have young couples taught how to talk more to their kids and how to take care of their kids. And there's going to be tutoring, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be that. And you're going to change the ghettos one step at a time. And that was the most magical idea, and it looked very promising. When I was at the Manhattan Institute was not just a bunch of Republicans saying, Black people, pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps. We majorly supported Jeffrey Canada at the time. He came and would speak, and I remember during his talks, he would make sure to make it clear that he wasn't a Republican and didn't really like the Manhattan Institute, but appreciated the support. I got that. But you know what? There are times when, like the Manhattan Institute was all about turning intellect into influence. When a generation goes by, it's time to talk turkey. And I was excited about the Harlem Children's Zone in 2001. Tried to join their efforts and couldn't quite get through because their their infrastructure was not quite there. And they kept seeming to think I wanted to be a math tutor and I wanted to cover them as a writer. And I tried. But,
what did you want to do?
I wanted to cover them as a writer back then and support what they were doing by publicizing it.
I see.
And I couldn't get in. Frankly, to be honest, Jeffrey Canada didn't want me, I guess because he thought of me as a Republican stooge. He didn't know that I was something a little more complicated. And when I would try to talk to the people on the phones, they seemed to think that I wanted to be a math tutor, which would have been great. But why would I want to do that? That I was trying to do something a little broader. But I'm not sure that that's worked. Like, even Obama talked about it.
Oh, yeah, he did. And it was very famous. And all the big money guys in New York a lot of them were behind it. And
at
Jeff
your thing the other day, I asked, for those who didn't watch the other segment, at Glenn's Festschrift celebration, which I was at recently, I talked to Ron Ferguson and I said, how has the Harlem Children's Zone gone? And Ron is a brilliant and well-intentioned man. But what he said to me with a certain kind of word salad was nothing. And it's been a generation. That didn't work. So apparently that's not going to save us.
Hold on. Roland Fryer, the economist at Harvard, studied the Harlem Children. He got close to Jeffrey Canada. He was in New York City working for Michael Bloomberg when Bloomberg was mayor. Roland was as chief equity officer, chief equality officer for the New York City public school system, doing big, large-scale studies. Anyway, he worked with Canada. He got a lot of the data and wrote a couple of academic papers or academic-y research papers. And his findings, by the way, support what you just said, although Roland was a little bit less overt and direct in saying it. He said, the only thing that really, really was working at the Harlem Children's Zone was the charter school. The charter school.
Okay.
The tutoring. The high expectations, but
that's not what it was supposed to be.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to tell you something.
All right.
He said Jeff had a holistic view. He was treating the whole community. It wasn't just a school. This is Jeff Canada. This is his vision. He was going to make parents, better parents, and he was going to change expectations and whatnot. That didn't work. They spent a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to make parents better parents and whatnot. This is my gloss on what Roland found. He said that was not so effective. The only thing that you really were seeing a significant effect was in educational attainment in terms of reading and math ability as measured by tests of students who did and did not. And because they couldn't admit everybody who wanted to, they have a good methodological device. They can use the waiting list as a comparison so you don't have the selection problem. I mean, one problem with measuring whether a program like that really is effective is that the parents who want to send their kids to the program are different from the parents who don't want to send their kids to the program. So you don't know whether you're measuring the parent or you're measuring the program. But if you have a waiting list, then you've got a set of parents, all of whom want to send their kids to the program, but only some of whom can. So you can compare the ones who can and can't and control for the fact that the parental initiative is greater for program participants. And in that way, get a more credible estimate of the effectiveness of the program. So the charter school program, high expectation, where you manage teachers, so tutoring and time spent with kids, longer school day, things like that. Apparently, of the Harlem's Children's Zone, did have very credible positive effects.
So
but a lot of the other holistic program, there's little evidence that it made
did
much
not
difference.
change, quote unquote, the ghetto, but it means that the school thing works. The KIPP original intention works. KIPP schools.
Yeah, that's Roland's opinion.
That's something to know. But I just wondered what happened to that grand ideal. Even Obama was into it. But apparently, you're not going to change the ghetto, but you can make a better school. Okay, I get that.